friends and subscribers. So I thought I'd pop on today because I recently added a post to my Instagram stories asking you to ask me anything. Things you'd like to know, things I can help you with. And something that came up quite a few times was a term called Scanxiety. So what is Scanxiety? This is something that I haven't really touched upon on my channel and is a really interesting topic and something that I know very well. So Scanxiety, it's a term used to describe the anxious feelings and emotions that people experience leading up to and following a medical imaging scan. So something like an MRI, a CT scan, a PET scan, even an ultrasound, any kind of scans that have anything to do with your cancer journey. Anxiety, scan, Scanxiety. So it's really common. And the anxiety and stress associated with Scanxiety can manifest in a variety of ways, including difficulty sleeping, loss of appetite, increased heart rate, feelings of panic or dread. And for many people, the scan is a source of uncertainty, and the fear of receiving negative news can be overwhelming. Personally, the run-up to my scans and following, I'm really anxious, but knowing that I have that safety net of a scan, of knowing that I'm being checked, that really helps me mentally. So it's a roller coaster. Okay, so I've also been asked what things I do to help manage Scanxiety. Now, some people might find it helpful to talk to their healthcare providers. I know we have Macmillan nurses in the UK and they're great to speak to. I did actually have my counselling through them and I found that amazing. I'm not ashamed to say that the counselling really helped me. But others find comfort in seeking support from their family and friends to talk about their concerns or fears. Techniques as well, such as mindfulness, meditation, deep breathing exercises, these can also really help reduce anxiety and promote relaxation. Prior to my counselling, I did feel very anxious about seeking help. I felt like I could do all of this on my own and get through alone, even though I knew I had so many people there for me. But after I'd finished my active treatment, I quickly realised that I really needed to seek help. And seeking help is not a weakness. It isn't. And as a breast cancer patient, I still find it hard to say that, I'm all too familiar with the feeling of Scanxiety. The fear of cancer reoccurrence is a constant source of anxiety for me, particularly when approaching a medical scan. The anticipation leading up to the scan can be overwhelming, and then the waiting period for the results can be an additional source of stress. I now know and understand that all of my feelings of fear and anxiety are completely valid and understandable. And living with the uncertainty of cancer is incredibly challenging, both physically and mentally. But I try to remind myself that I'm not alone in my experiences, and there are so many others who have gone through similar situations, and talking to them can often make me feel more understood and more supported. And if you're watching this and you need to feel understood and supported, then please leave me a comment, please message me on Instagram, and we can support each other. So this month is Mental Health Awareness Week, which is another reason why I wanted to touch upon Scanxiety, because it's such a big topic and it can be crippling. There have been days when I have literally sat in bed and just cried underneath the covers. Cancer doesn't end at active treatment. It doesn't. Just because you're not having chemotherapy anymore, radiotherapy, targeted treatment, doesn't mean that your feelings aren't valid and that you're not scared, because it's scary. Once you've heard those words, you have cancer. I don't really think there's ever a comeback to the person you were before. So to manage my Scanxiety, I found it really helpful to talk to my healthcare provider about my concerns and fears. So I do talk to my breast cancer nurse frequently, and they've been a great source of guidance and support through the whole process. And also my GP, she's been amazing. So they have recommended that I do some techniques to help manage my anxiety. Also, I know that there are offers there of medication and other kinds of support, which I'm not actually taking, but they are there if I need them. I've also found that there are some support groups, some therapy and some relaxation techniques that can be helpful, and engaging in self-care activities like exercise, spending time with loved ones, currently watching the Eurovision Song Contest. They bring me joy and relaxation, and that has been imperative in helping me manage my anxiety. Having said that, I was diagnosed with breast cancer shortly after the Eurovision Song Contest. So we had a little party at home, which we do every year. I love it. We were having this party and I'd done like food platters and we were really enjoying ourselves, and I actually did a cheers and said, here's to it not being anything, and that was after my biopsy. And the next day, or a few days after, I was diagnosed. So I've actually found the Eurovision Song Contest, something that I absolutely adore, really triggering this year, which I never thought I'd find the Eurovision Song Contest triggering, but apparently now I do. So that's a bit devastating, but I thought yesterday I'll do a platter for the semis, because it's the semis yesterday and tomorrow. I thought I'd do like a platter and, you know, and we could enjoy it, but I couldn't do it. I started making it, and it kind of felt like it was happening all over again. Oh, it felt like it was happening all over again. So I thought, no, I need to do something different. So we decided to just get a burger from McDonald's, and I just sat and cried. But I just needed that moment, you know, and that's where the anxiety comes from. You know, there are triggers, and just understanding there are triggers and just letting yourself sit in the emotion is so important. Sorry. Anyway, so back on track. Yeah, so I try and prioritize self-care and being kind to myself. And managing anxiety and fear can be really challenging, but with the right support and resources, I find ways of coping and ways of navigating this journey, which I'm still on. I feel like it's always sort of there, walking beside you. It's always there. I'm not gonna lie, it's hard. It's really hard. As I've said, it's Mental Health Awareness Month, and that's why I thought it was really important to pop on here and just discuss anxiety with you a little bit, because it does exist, and the fear of what the scan will bring is always going to cause stress and anxiety. But there are support systems out there, and whatever country you're watching this from, if you can't find your support system, then let's create one. Just put me a comment, like I say, message me on Instagram and we can chat, we can talk about your concerns. I'm here for everybody. I am trying to use my journey to bring something good to the world, and I really hope that I can. I read a term the other day, to find power in purpose. And although I'm not quite there yet, I loved that. Find power in purpose. And at the moment, I feel like this is my purpose, to share my story and to share my journey, to encourage early detection by checking yourselves, men, women, everybody, guys, gals, non-binary pals, you need to check your boobs. You've got to check. And as I'm not even sure if you can hear me because of the rain, I will leave it at that. If you have any questions about Scanxiety, please let me know, but the basic answer of what is it is it's scans and anxiety. Scanxiety. And it exists, and your feelings are valid. Speak soon, guys.